the Oversolver back, and today I'm going to be talking about two events I think that every beginner should be good at. And as you can see, I'm talking about Pyraminx and Skewb. These are two events that are very simple. They only require, let me think, Pyraminx only requires 2 or 3 algorithms. In fact, you can actually solve it intuitively. Many people have. And Skewb only requires 1 algorithm. It's just a little tricky to get used to because of first layer. I'm going to be talking a bit about these in depth and where I think you should start out, because a lot of people I've noticed don't take these seriously, even though with just a minimal amount of practice, one can become actually quite proficient at them without using advanced methods or a ton of algorithms or anything like that. So the first thing I'm going to start out with is Pyraminx. I average about sub 9 on Pyraminx. I haven't practiced in months just because it hasn't been in any of my recent competitions. But I think the simple method that I think everyone should know is called keyhole. If you're just curious. But for those of you complete beginners out there, this is something that you can probably do on your own. A lot of it is really trivial, and you can either learn keyhole layer by layer. It doesn't matter. You can use any method and be under 10 seconds with really small amounts of practice. It's not going to take a while. You don't need to buy really good hardware. It's really easy. Let me see here. Yeah. I think that a lot of people, I don't know why people don't do these kinds of events more often, especially at competitions, because I think they're really fun events to do just because they're fast, as you can see, and because they're so simple to learn. Pyraminx especially, just because, I'm going to use the Moe for this, but those are all trivial, all those little turned parts. They're just anyone can do them. These middle parts aren't as complicated, and they only need really a variation on one algorithm, which is nice. And there are tons of guides out there to being good, or even just starting out. You don't need any practice, and there's no weird first layers to worry about. The hardest part really is just getting those algorithms down. Most people can build faces and centers and such really simply, and I think that's one of the reasons that a lot of people, when the Pyraminx originally came out, took to it. Like my dad, he could solve one when they came out because they were just that easy, and he still can, which I find really cool. But that's just a little something about my dad. I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of people's family could, because this is kind of something you could give to someone who is looking to get into twisty puzzles but doesn't want algorithms, just because even if you don't know algorithms, it's still possible to figure it out. And for any of you who are new to kind of the whole twisty puzzle thing, but looking to do something without algorithms, I think this is the thing for you. Now, the other one, my personal favorite, is Skewb. Skewb is, I don't know, it's kind of hard to describe because a lot of people have difficulties with that at first, just because when you turn it, it turns half the cube. Now, the thing is, it's not so much the algorithm that gets people tripped up. Like Pyraminx, the algorithms can trip people up sometimes, but on here the algorithm is really easy. It's just 1, 2, 3, 4. But it's just getting this first layer built, because it's often not as intuitive as people like to think. That's my first layer, but for a lot of people that can be really difficult. Once you know what you're doing, it's extremely easy, but at the beginning it's not. And so a lot of people have to get used to that at first, and some people have a permanent, I've seen people who just don't take Skewb seriously because they hate that so much, which I think is kind of a little silly, because Skewb is easy and I find it really fun. I average sub 7, so I think I've practiced it a lot, and I can definitely say you don't need anything advanced to get good. You can get under 20 seconds very easily, even with the 1 algorithm method. You can get sub 7 with just practice using an intermediate method. And the intermediate method, it's only 11 algorithms. For comparison, the beginner's method on the 3x3 is 5. So to get halfway decent at this is just about double what's on the original 3x3. For a lot of people know more algorithms on the 3x3 anyways. People should just learn Skewb because it's very easy to get a handle of in competitions, and once you have it, it's actually pretty fun. Everyone who I've talked to that kind of does it first and understands what it's doing, they like it. And even if you're not the biggest fan of it, it's still kind of fun to mess around with just because of how like weird it is and how it doesn't feel like it should turn like this, but it does, as compared to like an n by n puzzle that turns like this and this. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this kind of short video on some events I think you all should be able to tackle. I hope that you enjoyed it and that you end up going and getting some of these puzzles yourself. I will leave a link to some like a beginner wingy, or not a wing, a beginner Skewb and a beginner Pyraminx for those looking to get into it. And I'll have future tutorial videos on how to get better at these, but that's just it for now. I think you could stand to learn them because I think they're really fun. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed. Hope you tune in for my next video, which I think will be another getting good at 2x2, but I'm not sure when this will be uploaded. But either way, I hope to see you for whatever it may be. Talk to you then.